And we're back. Thank you for joining us again, Gales. This is the Fantastic 4 o'clock show, except it's right now 4:45, so it's about the Fantastic 4:15, I guess, show. So we're going to round out the radio show with some quick sports updates and some sports news. So first on the agenda, well, to continue with sports, since we were just talking about basketball, we're going to talk about football, favorite sport, obviously. Some recent stuff going on. LaShawn McCoy shrugs at Giants but praises Vicks. Eagles running back LaShawn McCoy routinely offers up plenty of interesting sound bites. On Monday, he provided a couple of them. According to Bart Hubuk of the New York Post, McCoy weighed in on both of the NFL's New York teams, the Giants and the Jets. As to the Giants, McCoy was unfazed by the offseason additions. "I'm not paying attention to the Giants," he said. "What have they done? Signed some guys, big deal." As to the Jets, McCoy is ready to declare a winner of the team's quarterback competition between Geno Smith and Michael Vick. "He's going to be the Jets' starting quarterback," McCoy said to Vick. He's way better than Geno Smith. Way better. There's no contest. That's no contest." McCoy also believes Vick would still be the starter in Philly if he hadn't gotten injured last year. McCoy misses the fact that Vick gets injured pretty much every year. Last year, his replacement Nick Foles was good enough to keep Vick on the bench after he healed. This year, the ultimate question for Vick will be whether, once he's inevitably injured, Smith will be able to play well enough to claim the job. I mean, obviously he's going to talk about the Giants like that. The Eagles and Giants hate each other. Okay, and for more football news, to good transition into college football. Yay! So, everybody's talking about the draft. It's coming up in 2 weeks. And we're talking about the latest draft prospects because everything has been changing from pro day news to the combine results and the top 100. There's an article written about it in USA Today. So the top 100, Derek Carr isn't far behind the top quarterback prospects. With the NFL draft 2 weeks away, teams are finalizing their boards and readying for the potential franchise-changing events. Last week, the Q started the same process. We introduced our top 25 prospects overall. This week, we have expanded to the top 100 prospects. So we're going to go through let's go through the top 10. How about that? So the NFL draft, top 10 positions at every position. Okay. How deep is this year's class? It's been talked about at ad nauseam over the past few months. Legitimate first-round arguments can be made for every player ranked from the start of the second round to the 55th overall talent. 12 more prospects in the third round could potentially go around earlier. It all starts with the 26th rated prospect Fresno State's Derek Carr. There are concerns with Carr's ability to stand tall against pressure and the types of throws he was asked to make the past 2 seasons in the Bulldogs' spread scheme. However, he isn't far behind the likes of UCF's Blake Bortles or Texas A&M's Johnny Manziel, if at all. Carr has a lightning-quick release. He's a good athlete, and teams more love his maturity on and off the field. While the concerns linger, Carr could easily be the first or second quarterback selected. A little further down the list, Florida State's wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin is rated 45th overall. Benjamin is generally considered, at least he has been in mock drafts, a first-round pick. Benjamin does have all the physical tools to be drafted in that range, but he disappeared for long stretches of games last season and showed inconsistent hands. At 6'5" and 240 pounds, teams may even consider moving him to tight end. 3 names a little lower within the ranks, but picking up steam late in the process are Boise State's DeMarcus Lawrence and Indiana's Cody Latimer and Nevada's Joel Bitonio. While the aforementioned prospect could go much higher than expected, the running backs have clearly been devalued in the past few years. Auburn's Trey Mason is the top rusher available, but he's ranked as the 51st best prospect. Pitt QB Tom Savage may even come as a surprise in the third round due to recent projections by others as a second-round pick. Savage has prototypical size and arm strength, which has teams enamored. He is also much better in the second half of the season. It's still hard to overlook his entire body of work, though. Savage displays erratic accuracy and decision-making. He's also struggled against pressure and isn't a very good athlete. Oh, that's kind of mean. But they have the top 100 drafts, if I could just get up there. So these are the top 10 draft prospects and their position and their school. So number 1 is Javon Clowney. He's a defensive end for South Carolina. Number 2, Greg Robinson, offensive tackle, Auburn. Ooh, and number 3 from the jump from the last couple of shows that we've been doing is Jake Matthews, offensive tackle, Texas A&M. Number 4, Anthony Barr, edge rusher, UCLA. Number 5, Khalil Mack, edge rusher, Buffalo. 6, Sammy Watkins, wide receiver, Clemson. Wow, Sammy Watkins is going to go. They think Sammy Watkins is going to go 6th. Wow. Number 7, Mike Evans, wide receiver, Texas A&M. Number 8, Justin Gilbert, cornerback, Oklahoma State. Number 9, Eric Ebron, tight end, North Carolina. And number 10, Zach Martin, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. So those are the top 10 prospects. Wow, and they actually have Teddy Bridgewater going as number... Where did he go? Number 14. Wow, that's really strange. The first quarterback they would take? Wow. Huh. You learn something new every day. Those are just the top 100. But that's how they're ranking them, I guess. Okay, so from August to April, how our mock draft has changed. So obviously, like I said, from the pro days, from the NFL combines, a lot has happened. So the NFL draft process is fickle. Players rise, players fall. The unpredictability of it all is why fans pay close attention than ever before. Prior to the beginning of the 2013 NFL season, the Q attempted an experiment. We launched a weekly mock draft. As the draft process wore on throughout the season, changes were continually made to updated versions. Our draft board was meant to be malleable based on the most current information. It reflected how top prospects were developing week by week. As a result, massive changes can be found from the Q's first mock draft to its recent 19 of the 32 players named in the first mock draft don't appear anywhere in the 30th mock draft. Excuse me. So, basically the fallers are this. So, Taj Boyd, who's a Clemson quarterback, was once considered a top 10 NFL draft prospect, but his stock dramatically dropped over the past 8 months. So in week 1, they projected him to go number 5 overall. In week 30, they don't even have him picked first round. The Clemson quarterback entered the season as a potential top 10 selection. He's currently viewed as a late round possibility. Where was the disconnect? Boyd clearly put together a strong senior season. He completed 68.5% of his passes through 34 touchdowns and led his team to an 11-2 record, including a Sugar Bowl victory, and broke multiple ACC passes records along the way. The concern regarding Boyd's game are twofold. First, Boyd lacks tools teams are looking for in a franchise quarterback. Despite Russell Wilson's winning ways and the fascination with Manziel, teams still prefer quarterbacks with prototype typical size. Boyd stands 6-1. Boyd also doesn't show very good anticipation with his throws. He often lets the receivers come open before he attempts to deliver the football. In the NFL, passing windows are much tighter and close much faster. Although there are concerns regarding Clemson's scheme and surrounding cast, Boyd wasn't asked to make some of the more difficult NFL caliber throws. Meanwhile, when a quarterback's top targets are Sammy Watkins and Martavis Bryant, they can also often make their signal caller look better than he actually is. Okay, so he's the top faller, and the top riser is Greg Robinson. Week 1, he wasn't picked in first round, and now week 30, he's going number 2 all the way. Overall, all the way. Today, the Auburn left tackle is considered one of the top 2 or 3 talents available in May's draft. However, he entered the season as an almost complete unknown. First, Robinson was a redshirt sophomore. Most evaluations take place on draft eligible seniors early in the process. Robinson wasn't expected to declare early for the draft until closer inspection showed a completely dominating performance by Robinson in 2013. Second, Robinson started 11 games at left tackle as redshirt freshman, but the team struggled at every level. The Tigers finished 3-9, and none of the players received extra attention due to how poorly everyone played. And he played for Auburn. Wow, really? They played that bad? Once Gus Malzahn took over as the team's head coach, everything changed. Robinson was the biggest beneficiary. The massive left tackle was used as focal points in the blocking scheme, and he simply mauled everyone in front of him. Next person is Blake Bortles. Week 1, he wasn't, it says not picked in first round, and now week 30, it says number 4 overall. Bortles, another early entrant to the draft, could potentially become the number 1 overall once the Houston Texans are on the clock May 8th. Bortles' rise from an unranked quarterback prospect from Central Florida began when he led the Knights to a 34-31 victory over the Penn State Nittany Lions in State College, and followed that up with a strong performance in a narrow defeat to a top 10 ranked South Carolina Gamecocks. Bortles also presents something in this class that no other top quarterback prospect brings. Bortles has prototypical size at 6'5" and 232 pounds, accompanied by very good athleticism to create plays. Bortles is considered a developing passer, but his upside will likely force the team's hand to select him in the top 10 overall. So those are just some of the updated NFL news and draft news. I can't wait for it to be draft day. I can't wait to watch and see who the Jets pick up. Hopefully it's a wide receiver or someone for the O-line. I don't know. But that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think this might be the last show of the year. But you can check me next year. Hopefully Siobhan will be back with me. Thank you for watching. Always watch, make sure you we're live 24/7, ustream.com. Just search WICR. Thank you and have a great afternoon.